Alright guys, I decided to do this video. Here's a very cool thing. When I kind of seek inward and I have ideas and thoughts, this thing has happened the last few years where I see sparks of light. It's kind of like, it looks like, honestly, like Peter Pan sand or something sparkles. And it always happens when it's almost like something out there is telling me, do this, like you're right, go ahead with this. And it's tiny, tiny little sparkles that just go like that. And I don't know how to explain it, but this is what I'm saying, and you'll realize, hopefully, why I was guided to make this video. And this, I got Thriller in the background, Michael Jackson, pretty rad. But this goes into a theory about the Big Bang that I've never heard before, and I've always had this written down. And I finally got the piece of the puzzle that makes sense now, as far as darkness and light, and being closeness and isolation, and it all goes down to, I hope, guys, do your research a little bit, because I just want to make this really quick, but there's a shape out there called the Taurus, and it goes right down to the molecules of the atoms and everything. It's the same shape, and I have an apple here. You cut an apple in half. It's found in nature, and it's kind of like the donut shape, and it goes through the middle, and it comes out, and it comes around, and goes back. It's kind of the Big Bang theory, and well, what I'm saying is, it starts on a small level, and then it's found everywhere in nature, and then the magnetosphere of the Earth, it's kind of the same kind of thing. So why wouldn't it keep expanding and expanding and go to a larger level? So in my theory too is, and I don't want to. In my theory, the Big Bang is constantly happening. Like, people think it was this one thing where just went and everything started going out like this, and that was it. It was all over, and then things are just going to the moving outward and expanding. But that still applies, though, to this thing, because this is where the explosion happens, and everything expands outward and outward and outward, and it comes to a point, and then it starts going back and back, and then it recycles like energy. So it's just a kind of the philosophy, and it's also like breathing, the breathing of the earth and breathing of, and just breathing. And breathing is so important to keep yourself grounded in who we are. And so this also goes into belief and disbelief too of a higher power. And this is what I'm talking about. That there's people who are very, very religious, and they think they know what the light is, and the light is like what's coming from the center, the energy that's just, it's condensed and it moves out and it comes back. But then there's people who have been pushed out and become more and more isolated, and they're out here in outer space, and it's almost like you're alone, you're isolated, and there's nothing there. But it all kind of came from the same source. It's just too hard to see because you're so far away from it. But eventually you do come back to that, and I think it explained a lot of things, and I'm an artist, but I think I've seen some of the shows where it explains the different theories of the Big Bang Theory, and this was a couple years ago, and I never saw this idea of the Big Bang Theory, a constant recycling of energy and a constant movement and motion and breathing of the universe and everything. And I've never seen or heard it kind of explained that way. The Taurus theory is something, I don't know, that's just what I say, like if that's the name of the title, it just makes sense to me. But I've never read that before, I've never seen somebody explain it that way before, but to me that makes sense. And then I don't know, watching this video, if it makes sense to anybody, maybe I undersell myself, and this could be like a profound discovery or philosophy or theory that could be put to the test, and I'd love to see like anybody who is a scientist or studies that kind of stuff. But I think it explains a lot of different things, and that's it's my opinion. But again, the sparks of light kind of guided me, and there's a lot of people that don't believe in a higher power. You believe in self, and maybe like even too with isolation and stuff, or you know, I know many people that are in that situation, or so many people are in that isolation because everything's been divided and everything feels hopeless. So you're on the outskirts of everything, and you know, you want to have that codependency and that self-dependency, but you still crave to be, you know, in the light and in that comfort and surrounded by light and that joy and everything. So it kind of goes into a lot of different philosophies, and so I just kind of hope. I've been wanting to do this video for a while, but I didn't want to be like the person who thinks, you know, he's a smart guy, he's educated. You know, maybe I'm a little more educated than I think. I don't read a lot of books, which is going to really kind of hinder me in trying to prove something like this, that I'm not a major in physics and gravity and everything, but I'm just an artist, and it'd be really weird if that kind of hit a few nuts with people, like maybe looking into the arts and everything. There's something there more visually. When you understand things visually, that can be a missing key to the puzzle too as well. So much love, guys. Have a good night.